This is a massive opportunity for the Broncos. A recent release of a certain wide receiver that has ties to the Broncos coaching staff has just happened, and now it's time for the Broncos fans and the Broncos front office to consider, is this worth picking up? Is this someone that's worth considering with the ties that they have and the potential, chemistry that would bring? I'm Sebastian, the Broncos Digest. Welcome back, everybody. I think this is a really interesting topic. Someone brought it up to me, and I was like, oh, wait, this could maybe work. I mean, we're in our bye week. This is a good time to try and bring on someone new, or someone familiar, I should say. That listen, we already brought on Lil Jordan Humphrey. Don't get me wrong, but now this is another opportunity to bring in someone who might offer a different skill set, I'd say, and has a bit more experience in some big games. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe. We're trying to make our way to 2,000 subscribers right now. It would mean a lot just to hit that button. We are doing live streams for games and all that good stuff. So just hit the bell, hit the button, and join Broncos Digest. Very, very excited to be doing what we're doing here. But let's just jump right into it. This is a really interesting thing. Let's set the stage. Adam Malnati from Mile High Report said that hard to not put the Broncos in the contender category. So let me adjust and then answer the question: how can the Broncos convince those in denial that they are the true contenders? That comes down to the offense. Bo Nix has to play well for whole games, not just the fourth quarter. Maybe stop forcing the ball to Troy Franklin. Stop getting cute with the play calling. The running game has to show consistency against good teams. Though defense is elite, special teams are very good. Haters will only call the Broncos contenders if they get better on offense. And that brings us to this news. Ian Rappaport reported that Brandin Cooks from the Saints, who was a possible trade target before the deadline, has been released. Sources say the two sides agreed on this and now head to waivers, which actually came through this afternoon. So he is available to be picked up by whichever team is looking to get him. And Zach Stevens reported that, hey, Sean Payton drafted Brandin Cooks and now he's available. That's a really, really interesting tie that I don't think a lot of people are considering. Cooks wasn't getting a lot of targets, but he this is a Saints reporter, by the way. Cooks wasn't getting a lot of targets, but he was running a ton of love of the game routes in this offense at full speed to create leverage and space for Chris Olave. So I'm unironically interested in who takes on that role. I think that is really interesting that he has that ability to still demand attention and still, create leverage and space with his routes. That maybe like that's why his numbers aren't that great in terms of like his catches, touchdowns, all that good stuff. I mean, listen, he's been doing this for a while. I think he's in his 12th season. So he's not going to be like a volume receiver. His job is much more secretive and tricksy, which Sean is very interested in that. And like we said, he drafted him to the Saints all the way back then, and so they have a lot of familiarity with each other. I mean, Brandin Cooks has been all over the NFL, like the Cowboys, Rams, all these different teams. So it would be like moving to Denver would not be anything different for him. He's moved quite to a lot of different places, and so I think that this fit would actually be really, really good. Only because his speed is still there. If you watch him, he can still really get off the line. His get off speed is really, really great. And while he's not like torching anyone on any routes these days, the fact that remains is that he is creating leverage for the other receivers. If we're trying to scheme something open for Courtland Sutton, because honestly, let's be honest, Courtland, I feel like almost all of his catches aren't like because he's routing guys up. It's just a lot of like 50-50 balls or really tightly contested balls. And maybe like with the use of Cooks trying to like, open up that space for him could actually be really helpful. It's weird. It's like a cheetah who doesn't, I mean, like in terms of like Tyreek Hill, but who doesn't like catch the ball and run for touchdowns. He's just there to be like, a disguise. And then eventually when people stop paying attention to Cooks because they know he's just a disguise, you throw a deep ball and he has the speed to go get it. So I think that his use as that kind of weapon would, mean a lot. And we're in the bye week. Like we said, he would be able to learn the playbook pretty quickly. He knows what Sean Payton is looking for because of that experience. And they would get along really well together. So I think all of that, just the system and the timing of it, all of it makes a lot of sense for, listen, Cooks did this for a reason. Obviously, like the Saints, they're in a really bad spot. They're not going to be contending for anything. So they, even though Cooks was drafted to the Saints, he feels like he would rather be on a team that's contending, and he's done that before. He's played in a lot of playoff games under Sean Payton, and under other teams as well, like the Patriots and the Rams. So all like those big stake games are that's no mystery to him. He has the experience to like give to some of these younger guys who when we get into the playoffs, when we are playing some of these bigger teams in bigger games, that he can like tell them, okay, this is what we have to do. Here's how to like handle the stress. Here's how to handle the emotions, all of that. And they're all professionals. Don't get me wrong. A lot of these guys will be able to do that on their own, but it does not hurt to have people who have that experience in that room. Sean Payton is obviously a Super Bowl winning coach. He's been in a lot of big games in the playoffs, a lot of heartbreaking losses, to be honest. And it helps to having more than just one guy who's been there and done that. Dre Greenlaw, he went to the Super Bowl, but tore his Achilles, and then the Niners lost. So that Super Bowl caliber team playmaking ability and just the camaraderie, I feel like it'd be very helpful and useful. And so that's my suggestion to Brandin Cooks, is to come to Denver. And TJ Ward gave a good sales pitch. He said, if you are a free agent, you want to get to Denver, that's probably the best decision I made in my professional career. He just said that like a day or two ago. Just kind of talking about like how hype everything is around Denver right now. The vibes are immaculate. They're great. Listen, J.K. Dobbins is done for the year. He's on IR, so we have an ability to bring Cooks onto the practice squad, then elevate him if we need him. Obviously, we have a lot of cooks in the kitchen in terms of receivers that are available. They're relatively healthy, like Pat Bryant. He's ascending right now. Troy Franklin, sometimes when he's deciding not to drop balls, is doing pretty well. And obviously Sutton has amazing chemistry with Bo. And little Jordan Humphrey, these guys, Marvin Mims, you never want to forget about him. He's always an X factor. So there's guys that obviously that are there for Bo, but I feel like none of them have that, I don't know, that experience and that ability to be playing such selfless football. I mean, they're all selfless, don't get me wrong, but like Cooks almost like is like now just playing a role of I'm a receiver who doesn't catch, not because I can't, but like because I can create open lanes for people. And so what do you guys think about this idea? Do you agree that Cooks would be a good fit for the Broncos? Or do you think too old? Like, I don't care about the chemistry. I don't care about their history. Like, he's past his prime and he's only leaving the Saints because they're bad. Like, I could very well be overblowing this. And, listen, I understand this isn't like a Jalen Waddle type of thing. Like, he is very much in, like, the last part of his career and trying to do, like, we let's not forget, we got Mercedes Lewis on this team, and he does, like, 2 to 3 false starts a game, which blows my mind why we still are, dealing with that. Like, that's like not the leadership that I think that we need. I think that we need guys who actually can do something for us on offense. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about Brandin Cooks to the Broncos? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Is there someone else that's on the free agent market that we should consider? How do the Broncos get better in the bye week, or do we just stay as is? That's also a possibility. Listen, we've won 8 in a row. It hasn't always been pretty, but we've won 8 in a row, and we're at the top of the AFC. So there is that option. I wouldn't hate that either. So just, yeah, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. But until the next video, guys, I'll see you then.